up, guys? Welcome to What Do I Know with your boy Zuzu. The basis of this show is to talk to hip hop music lovers and to get to know our guests through their taste in music. And today we have my man, true artist, true creative from Providence, Rhode Island, making waves all over New England, Nino Francis. What's good, brother?
What's happening, man? Thank you for having me.
And man, thank you so much for doing this, bro. I really, really appreciate it. I've always wanted to ask you, Nino, is that like a nickname you've had your whole life, or is that something you just made up and you just been running with?
No, it's a nickname that I've had
Okay.
my entire life.
Okay.
And it's just something my parents called me, and then my real name is actually Francis. And so now,
Oh, really? Okay.
yeah. So I figured it was time to incorporate the two together. So that's
that's
why I go by
genius.
Nino Francis. Yeah.
That's genius. Okay. I like that. All right. So I have about 10 or so questions. I have my daughter randomize them a little bit just so we can have fun with it and get to know you a little bit. So you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, the first one is not really randomized because I really, really want to talk to you about this. You just dropped a new single, Si Tu Supiera, that's been stuck in my head, bro. It's been stuck in the humming you got on there. It's just like, oh man, like even my wife's asking me, like, what is the song you're singing? Can you talk a little bit about that record, what inspired it, and just like how it came about?
Well, I think we're in a time where everybody's really starting to lean into their cultures when it comes to like the music. And I felt like it was time for me to do that because I had been in DR recently, and people kind of figure out that you do music in your family. And I was with my family and they heard, some of my music, and I had a couple of my cousins be like, yo, I listen to what you be doing. I don't know what you be saying, but I still listen. And I was like, now I felt like it was time to like do something for them and make sure that, they get some of my artistry in a way that they can, consume it comfortably, for sure.
How's the feedback been so far?
I love it, man. I'm getting all the WhatsApp messages from
There
all
you
my
go.
cousins, like, oh, yo, taluda, which is good. They saying that the record is hard, and and from other people who like my music, they're like, listen, the same thing. I don't know what you're saying, but I like it, so I'm happy about that.
It's a vibe, yo. It's a vibe. I really like that. With Joy of Fruition, I always see you promoting that or putting that out there. Can you tell me what is it exactly? But then what does it mean to you? Like, why did you choose to name it that?
Well, what it is for me, it's like the central hub for everything I do creatively. So it's like, it's design, it's music, it's art, you know what I'm saying? Like anything that I do that is related to me and my art is under the Joy of Fruition. The word fruition is my favorite word.
All right.
It has been for a while. Like it's just it means like when ideas and things like that come to reality, like they become a thing, like when you solidify and create your ideas and they become a real thing. So it's like I feel like there's no better feeling than the joy of fruition, like when you really finally have something that's tangible.
About you, when I look at your art and what you put out, your image, just even your songs and your music, I feel like I see like less is more. Like you pay attention to details and you give people like this is what I want to show you and nothing else. And like, do you believe in less is more? Just that whole mantra?
I do, but I don't. Like it's like this producer I know, Latrell, he said something about like, he said something along the lines of like, yo, the moment you start looking for more stuff to add is the moment that you like gotta just kind of let it be. You know what I'm saying? And he got that from somebody else, but when he framed it that way, like that's kind of like, don't, at some point you just know when enough is enough. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like salt. Like you could put a little bit of salt, you know what I'm saying? And you keep going until it tastes right, and then you just leave it there.
Like we don't have to overdo it.
It
is what it is. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Put me on to an artist or producer that you feel like should, either from out here or somebody famous that should be getting more recognition, to somebody that's been like, not getting enough, and you feel like more people should be listening to?
I'm gonna go with probably, I can give you two, like one locally and then one one. I feel like it's it's a little biased, but like locally, like the guy I've been in the studio with consistently producing, Mizuchi, like
Oh,
he don't really put much out, but like he's like for me, he's like, yo, that is the dude. Like without him, like a lot of the stuff that I do is not like
oh,
possible because he's
okay.
just such an incredible producer. Like he's a genius. So Mizuchi for sure. And then on a wider range, I think now that we are in a space where a lot of our music is being accepted worldwide, like Latin music in a different
Yeah.
way that it's ever been, I feel like when we start talking about like the Kanye's, Pharrell's, all this of the world, like we got to start including Tiny,
Oh, yes.
which
Yeah.
I think is, yeah, I think that dude is like, he's something special. And I think he deserves more flowers for sure.
Yeah, I thought they're doing a verses, I think, a Spanish version of verses with Looney Tunes versus DJ Nelson, I think it is. I'm not sure
Mm-hmm.
if that's his name. And I thought they were gonna do versus Tiny. I'm like, yo, that's the people you gotta do right there.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure they got something set up for after that.
yeah,
All right, that's dope. I agree with that. And yeah, that producer, that's the guy that be creating with you in the studio.
yeah,
I just recently started following him. I'm like, yo, who's this cat behind behind
yeah.
all
That's
this
the goat
greatness?
right there. That's the goat.
That's dope.
That's the
That's
guy.
dope, man. Um, Now, when I'm listening to your music, you have so many styles, and it's just like it's grown and blossomed, and like I kind of like to look at it like a garden. You know what I'm saying? Like every time you put something out, it's like a new type of plant or new flower, and you're just kind of growing this garden of artistry, right? But like I always wonder who inspired you the most, like growing up, like just that one artist, maybe not one, maybe it's more than one, but just that one person in your life, just got you going into this lane.
It gotta be Ye for sure.
Yeah.
Because I've
Okay.
never like everybody knows like the way that that man has been able to like reinvent himself time and time again and change the landscape of music. Like there's no all the shenanigans aside, like I think
Yeah.
that dude is something special.
Tell me a little bit about what's going on in your Apple Music right now. What's the album that you've been addicted to, or your favorite album? It doesn't even have to be a hip hop album. Just your favorite album of the year so far. What have you been listening to?
Yo, that Bad Bunny album, bro, has been
Yes.
has
Okay.
been very like that joint is special. It's a
Yo,
classic, I think.
I think so too. The way he has so many styles on that, like he's
Yeah.
just hitting. I was in DR recently myself, right? And I went to one of those parties that I was just waiting for the Drake song to drop, and it was just Bad Bunny after Bad Bunny, and I was like, yo, why don't I hear a Drake, like I should hear Drake song right now? But it just made me think of what Bad Bunny has done and what he's doing with all the genres of music he's touching. It's just
Yeah.
crazy.
And
And then Drake drops his joint to kind of fill that void.
yeah. And too, like, just to note, like, I think what makes this Bad Bunny album special, specifically to me, is like you can see that there's a lot of Dominican DNA in that joint. So it's like,
Right?
yeah, so
He loves us.
yeah, he does, he does. So
He
we rock
does.
with him too.
Yeah, exactly. Been a guy with like bars, right? But I've seen this producing side of you as the years go on. And I just want to know when that started for you. When did that producing side, or was it always like that? And I just didn't know. When did that producing side come and play into your career?
Well, first off, thank you for acknowledging that I have bars, because I feel like people, I feel like people forget that
No,
my
man,
first thing was the
no.
raps. But production wise, I want to say I started probably like my freshman year of high school. And it
Okay.
was just because of the lack of beats. Like I didn't before there was not like tight beats on YouTube like that. And then people would just rap over other people's instrumentals. And then finding a producer was difficult. So I was like, I guess I gotta just do it myself. And then I started learning and I learned on YouTube and a mentor of mine, Sidney Leroy, he taught me how to use Fruity Loops. And then from there, it was over.
It just went off.
Yeah.
What's your favorite song of yours? I'm curious because you do have so many styles, so I could see how it'd be hard to pick. But like, do you have a favorite song or at least a favorite project, maybe?
As cliche as it sounds, I have not made my favorite song yet. And that's the way I like to keep it. I want to make sure that I always try to raise the bar for myself and not get too comfortable with any record that I make. But the stuff I've been working on these days, I'm very excited about, for sure.
So, okay. Going through your discography, and I came across Season featuring C's, right? And I just know the connection you guys have. And like, is there a vault? Is there a hard drive of unreleased songs by YouTube? Because if there is, it needs to come out. I know people always want him to drop music, but like you two would just have this connection. I feel like that something has to come out one day.
that is hands down my big brother. And like without him, I would not be who I am today, without a doubt. But I can't say there is a vault, you know what I'm saying? There's definitely a lot of joints, a lot of beats that I've sent to him that he's gotten on that he hasn't put out and stuff like that, like on the production wave. Record wise, it's been a while since me and him have gotten in the studio. But he is without a doubt one of my favorite rappers ever. He's in my top 5.
Got it.
So yeah, I would love for there to be some more records with me and him. Like I want it just as bad as you do.
I've gotten the question, like, do people ever come up to you and be like, yo, I wish that song was longer? I know you have such dope songs. I've heard you describe them as like just thoughts or just, certain, just feelings that you wanted to get out there. Have you ever gotten those people that come up to you, yo, I love this song. I wish it was 10 minutes long.
Yes. But that's where the less is more comes in. It's like, yo, I want it to be, because when you, I like to think of my projects as soundtracks, right?
Okay.
So when you go to watch a movie, like, and they have like music from different artists in these movies, they don't usually play the entire song. Like it's just like a little bit of it, And I love for people to be able to be like, yo, let me run it back. So
yeah. I kind of with Thrills, I think it's Thrills. That is my favorite song you've ever done, and just keep running it.
Yeah.
Because it's just you're painting that picture. Some of my favorite video of yours that I see you put up on social media is the stuff you're doing with instruments or even just equipment. I've seen you take like some old equipment that you may have found and just making beats with it. Is there any equipment out there? Well, first of all, where'd that come from? And is there any instruments or anything out there that you haven't played that you wanna get into?
I think anybody who's like grew up kind of around the time where like YouTube was starting to become a thing, remembers like the Ryan Leslie videos of like him in the studio making beats.
Yes.
And just like after that, like that's when I was like, yo, like you really gotta put your foot in the recording thing. In terms of like what I would like to learn, if I could learn any instrument, it would probably be like the saxophone. Just because that would be crazy. I don't know if I would actually do it, but I would love to learn that.
I always like to give everybody an opportunity to promote something they got coming out. Is Si Tu Supiera part of a project coming? Do you have a show coming? Promote anything you want that's coming up soon.
Well, get me on the socials at Nino Francis MP3. Si Tu Supieras is out now on all major streaming platforms. And yeah, we got a whole Latin project on the way.
That's what's up. I can't wait. When you finally get the show, I'll make sure to make it to this show. That'll be. I'm pretty sure you got something planned out soon because you guys always do those creative events. I love it, man.
We cooking, man. We cooking.
That's what's up. Thank you so much for doing this again. This is What Do I Know with your boy Zuzu. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend. If you love hip hop or just music in general, this is the content you need in your life. But then again,
what do I know?
There you go.